Don't even dream of a planche until you prepare these 5 areas. The planche is an iconic and incredibly spectacular exercise that motivates many people to start gymnastics training or calisthenics. Whether you're a beginner or advanced, this exercise is impressive to everyone. Beginners see it as a push-up where the feet don't touch the ground, a real sensation. Among athletes, the planche holds a near cult status, considered an iconic exercise. Many young people start their own training, whether it's gymnastics or calisthenics, because they want to master this move. There's even a saying in the workout community, if you can't do a planche, you're not a real workout enthusiast, because these days it's almost considered a basic exercise. However, it's important to know that the planche is definitely not for beginners. You must carefully build up your physique and strength before you begin practicing it. If you don't, you increase the risk of injuries like wrist issues, shoulder injuries, or in extreme cases, even a biceps tear, which is no joke and keep you out of training for a long time. That's why in this video, I'm going to show you the 5 areas that you absolutely need to prepare before starting planche training. If you've been following my videos for a while, you already know how much I emphasize preparation and foundation building. But for the sake of time, I won't go into that in detail in this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure to check out my previous videos and playlists where you can find detailed content on these topics. Now, let's dive into the 5 preparation areas essential for mastering the planche. The first area you need to prepare is the wrists. Think about it. During a planche, your wrists are the only contact point with the ground, so they need to be very strong. But strength alone is not enough. Mobility is just as important, especially if you're doing the exercise on the floor. In a planche, you need to lean significantly forward from the shoulders with straight arms, which means your wrist mobility needs to be sufficient, not just on the floor, but also on the parallettes. Additionally, your wrist needs to be strong enough to exert force in this extended range of motion, resist the load, and maintain balance. To reach the right mobility, start by doing circles on all fours with your palms flat on the ground and make the biggest circles you can with your shoulders around your hands. You can do this in various hand positions, but for the planche, the most useful one when your fingers look forward. Do 5 to 10 circles until you reach the required mobility, and I recommend doing this before every workout after warming up. For strength, I recommend 3 exercises. The first is the palm poses, where your fingers, except for the thumbs, remain on the ground while you lift your palms off the ground. Start by doing this against the wall, then move to a kneeling position, then kneeling push-up position, and finally in the full push-up position. You don't necessarily have to go through all these steps, you can do it just in the kneeling position. The important thing is to gradually increase the load on your palms and fingers to strengthen your forearm flexors. Do 15 reps of this exercise in 1 to 3 sets. The next exercise is the finger poses, which, like the palm poses, aims to engage the forearm flexors by including your fingers in the exercise. As you lean forward in the planche, especially on the ground, both your palms and fingers need to resist and support you. In this exercise, you lift onto your index, middle, and ring fingertips, keeping your fingers aligned with your palms. I recommend doing 15 reps of this exercise in 1 to 3 sets. The third exercise, useful for parallettes, is the fist swing. Here, with clenched fists, you rock back and forth, controlling the movement from the wrists. This needs to be a very controlled movement and will help you maintain balance on the parallettes. For progression, follow the same steps as the previous 2 exercises. Do 15 reps of this exercise as part of your joint preparation routine or separately as a strength exercise. If you want more wrist exercises, check out my video on this topic. The second area to prepare is the elbows. The planche is a straight arm exercise which puts significant strain on the elbow joint, biceps, and connective tissues. If this area is not properly prepared, it will either show deficiencies or lead to injury. A common compensation due to lack of preparation is bent elbows. This is very common in those who haven't focused on joint preparation. Their body tries to protect itself from injury by involuntarily bending the elbows. The nervous system senses that the joints and connective tissues aren't ready for the load, so the elbows bend during the exercise. This is a frequent sight among beginners. If someone forces a straight arm position without preparation, it could lead to extreme overuse injuries like a biceps tear. So it's really important to prepare your elbows. First, you need to learn the correct arm position. When you are in a support position on the ground or parallels, you should rotate your arms outward so that your elbow pits face forward. This ensures a fully extended elbow and is also important for shoulder stability, as the out-rotated position helps the head of the humerus fit more securely in the shoulder joint. If you rotate your arms inward, the elbows will automatically bend and your shoulders won't be as stable. Connective tissues can be initially prepared with the wrist mobility exercises mentioned earlier, but the next step is performing movements with straight arms using resistance bands. These exercises include forward and side raises, as well as front raises with bands. Since you're performing these exercises with straight arms from the shoulders, they will also strengthen your shoulders and accustom your elbows to the straight arm position. Perform these exercises with out-rotated arms and extended elbows to prepare your connective tissues for the straight arm position by strengthening your biceps and shoulders. We will cover more exercises like this when we get to the shoulders, but this is the first step. I also want to highlight small arm bands with resistance band, which you can see in the video. These exercises will help accustom your biceps tendons and connective tissues to the straight arm load and strengthen this area. Do 10 to 15 reps of these exercises as part of your workout routine. If you want to learn more about elbow preparation exercises, check out my full video on this channel. The third area that is essential for mastering the planche is scapular stability. Understanding and controlling the movement of your scapulas is fundamental to any upper body exercise. During a planche, you need to depress and protract your scapulas, meaning you push your shoulders down and forward. This activates the serratus anterior muscles, which are crucial for the planche. If you lack scapular stability and proper positioning, your planche form will look sloppy, or you may not be able to perform the exercise at all because the movement will collapse without it. To strengthen the scapular position, the first step is a simple exercise called scapula push-ups. Get into a push-up position with straight arms, posterior pelvic tilt, and your scapulas depressed and protracted. Then, while keeping your shoulders down, allow your scapulas to come closer together, then push yourself back to the starting position, ensuring that your scapulas return to the depressed and protracted position. It's important to maintain the push-up position throughout. Don't bend your elbows, keep your pelvis tilted, and engage your core. I recommend holding both the bottom and top position for 1 to 2 seconds. After that, hold the top position for 10 to 30 seconds. You can do this as part of your prehab routine or as a separate strength exercise in 3 to 4 sets. If you want to make it more challenging, you can do it in a forearm plank, which is a bit harder, or even with one arm, which really strengthens your scapula position. For more scapula preparations, check out my video on this topic. The fourth area, which is closely related to the previous one, is shoulder strengthening. As I mentioned with the elbows, since the planche is a straight arm exercise, the deltoid muscle is connected to the arm. These specific movements for mastering the planche put stress both on the elbow joint and the shoulders. That's why you need to perform similar movements to strengthen both areas. For elbow preparation, I mentioned resistance band exercises, which are useful for gradual progression. Once you've reached a good level with these, you can move on to using dumbbells, which will further strengthen your elbow joints, connective tissues, and shoulders for holding the planche. You can do forward raises, overhead flies, or one of my favorite combination, forward raises in a hollow body position. You can do this either on the floor or on a bench, where you can even lower your arms into a negative range of motion for full range of movement. As I mentioned, this exercise will work both your elbows and shoulders. Plus, if you focus on maintaining the posterior pelvic tilt and protracted shoulders in the hollow body position, it becomes a great all-in-one exercise for the planche. It strengthens your elbows, shoulders, scapula position, and core all at once. Do 10 to 15 reps of this exercise with the appropriate weight and finish with static holds for 10 to 30 seconds at the end of your set. For more shoulder strengthening tips, check out my video on the channel. The fifth area you absolutely need to prepare for the planche is the core. Core strength is essential. Without it, your entire form will collapse. In the planche, a posterior pelvic tilt is crucial, and having an active core is key. Depending on the type of the planche variation you're working on, core strength is required in different ways. In the full planche, a posterior pelvic tilt is crucial, while in the straddle planche, the wider the straddle, the more the pelvis will tilt forward. So in addition to abdominals, your lower back and glutes play a bigger role in holding the position. It's important to have a basic level of core strength from all angles: the anterior chain, so your abs, the posterior chain, so your lower back, obliques, and rotational core stabilizers need to be prepared. This is not just for the planche, but any foundational bodyweight exercise. To help you build this base, I have created a full playlist and training program that you can find on the channel or on the link below. Now, I will highlight 3 exercises. The first one is the hollow body position, where you need to lie on your back, do posterior pelvic tilt, and press your lower back to the ground, and hold yourself in this position with your legs raised and together, while keeping your arms either on the side or overhead. According to my standards, the minimum time for this hold is 1 minute. This exercise pairs perfectly with the forward raises and holds I mentioned in the shoulder section. The second exercise is the plank. This is another multifunctional exercise for the planche. In a forearm plank, you also need to maintain the depressed and protracted scapula position, just like in the planche. Additionally, focus on posterior pelvic tilt and engage your abs and glutes to hold your core tight. I recommend holding this position for at least 1 minute. Once you've mastered this, you're on the way to progressing to one of the first planche variations, the planche lean. The third exercise is the reverse leg lifts. This exercise is great for strengthening the lower back, which is essential for the planche. Perform it with your legs together or in a straddle. I recommend doing both, as they prepare you for both progressions and help develop the correct body position for the planche. You can do this exercise on a chair or any elevated surface. Aim for 10 to 15 reps and a static hold at the end for 10 to 30 seconds. If you want to build a really strong core and improve both your straight body and compression strength, check out the full core strengthening playlist on the channel or on the link below. In summary, before you start practicing the planche, make sure to mobilize and strengthen your wrists, strengthen your elbows, connective tissues, and biceps for the straight arm position, learn and lock in the correct scapula position, and strengthen your shoulders and core. This will lay the foundation for successful planche practice. The best approach if you follow a well-structured, comprehensive system. Prepare all the major joints with a complete joint preparation program, build your basic strength in all dimensions, and then you can confidently progress to any skills, whether it's the planche, front lever, back lever, or human flag. The gymnastics method system is built exactly this way. The joint preparation program includes specific exercises, each with a clear purpose, and these prepare you for the skills I mentioned. You can also learn all the basic exercises as quickly as possible using bulletproof methods, and then progress to your desired skills with the most effective progressions. If you want to dive into this system and join the community where many success stories have been made, click the link below. If you want to get the most out of yourself and support your progress with irreplaceable help, personalized guidance, constant feedback, and 24/7 accountability from an expert, apply to one-on-one coaching. Otherwise, if you want to work at your own pace using the same well-structured system, just click the link below, join the Gymnastics Method community with the app, and get access to all my programs, tutorials, daily workouts, and much more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more, and now check out one of my earlier videos on the end screen.